the war in Ukraine. So in this piece, the two performers are basically trying to embody the struggle between peace and conflict. Each of the roles are adapting and changing. The form of this piece is sort of like the middle of a jigsaw puzzle, where actually specifically the middle of a jigsaw puzzle that doesn't have a picture to follow. So there's a lot of round interlocking edges. There's one little corner of a piece that you can sort of hang everything on. I'll leave you, the listener, to decide where that corner might be. Thanks be to Catherine for putting together this concert and curating it 9 years in a row. Thank you, Catherine, for always answering my question with, yes, of course. And the question I ask is, could I present some of my own music? And the answer is, yes, of course. Thank you, Catherine. The last thing I'd like to say is this piece would not be possible in performance without the extraordinary talents of Kent Wayman on the piano and Kevin Kaiser on the alto sax. Kevin with his, you'll find his daring do's, his feats of daring do. Irini Agnon Irini.
I would like to bring up Emily Kenward, who is the Chicago area site director of Hands of Peace, and will also take a collection of your free will donations at this time.
Hello. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Concert for Peace. As Catherine said, my name is Emily Kenward, and I am the Chicago Site Director. But I'm also an alumna of the Hands of Peace Summer Program. I participated as a hand or a first-year participant in 2015, and again as an XL or a second-year participant in 2016. For more than 20 years, Hands of Peace has been empowering youth from Israel, Palestine, and the United States to become agents of change. Through workshops and dialogue sessions, our summer program builds connections across identities, borders, and faiths. This July, we are excited to invite 42 participants, hands and XLs, which is very exciting, to our site in San Diego, as well as 42 participants to our site right here at Glenview Community Church, to begin their journey to becoming peace builders. The Hands of Peace Summer Program takes a village, and I would just like to take a moment to thank all of the former host families, volunteers, and any alumni in the room, as well as any board members, current and past. Thank you so much, again, to just make the Hands of Peace Summer Program so much richer. We are also currently looking for host families to provide a safe home away from home for our participants and staff this summer. Host families enrich the summer program experience and are often transformed themselves in the process. Information about hosting can be found on our website, and applications are still open for first-year participants to join us this summer. If you know a high school student interested in a life-changing summer experience, please direct them to our website before March 22nd. I will also be available after the event to answer any of your questions. Finally, a huge thank you to Catherine Hughes, along with Tanya McCarthy, Cheryl Long, Betsy Martin, Laura Heiser, Robin Woodsum, and then Lisa Nodder and Debbie Fosdick, who cannot be here this evening, for organizing and inviting all of you to this event. And thank you so much to Glenview Community Church for being our home for so many years. Israel and Palestine have currently seen an exponential rise in violence over the past several months. But community action such as this concert, as well as the summer program, really is what gives me hope. So thank you all, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the show.
Jean Langlais was a 20th century French composer and organist who was blind from the age of 2. I have loved his music for a long time. I was introduced to La Nativité, the Nativity, a piece of his when I was very young. It's a programmatic work that has sections representing various scenes and characters, and it's just so colorful. But I love this piece as well, and I think it does a great job of depicting its title, Song of Peace. It is contemplative, but not static. Koyaanisqatsi is a Hopi word that means life out of balance. Philip Glass wrote the music for the 1982 experimental film of that name. The filmmakers didn't intend to make an explicit statement about the effect of technology on our natural world. They left the viewer to draw his own conclusions. I wanted to include this on the concert because I feel we human beings need to somehow find a peaceful coexistence between our technology and our environment. And also, I don't think you can have an event called Utopia and not present some of the dystopian as well. Organic is part of the minimalist genre of music. The changes that occur are very subtle, but that somehow makes them more important. Elliot Dvorin has been a musical colleague for several years now, and he heads a group called the Kitov Orchestra and has several really popular YouTube videos. There are translations in the program of the 2 songs with Hebrew texts. I love the line from Bashana Haba, "You will yet see how good it will be next year." So hopeful and so wistful, and it fits so well with the utopian theme. And then Salam is a fun arrangement with a simple yet again very hopeful outlook. Peace will come upon us and the whole world. After Alik's tunes, I call him Alik, that's his nickname, we will have a short intermission which will allow us to set up for the Turkish ensemble group Yakamos. And there will be donation baskets outside the doors and also folks to direct you wherever you need to go. And the second half will hold some surprises. There will be more D, but we will try out some different keys as well, and ultimately end up in the very utopian key of
what the last will be. It doesn't mean nothing to me, I know it will be. When you're right, any time of the year I can look in your eyes, and the rain in the sky doesn't fall. Any time of the year you are here in my arms, there is sunshine over it all. La 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 la.
Okay, we'll see you back in a few minutes.
I wanted to be closer. Okay, yeah. Yeah, like that. Yes. Actually, at the end, we are like combine three on together. We'll start with that. It's like a fast-paced thing of my videos. So you can say about three or yes. Sure. You can, ben olayım yar 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 yar. Şu anda açarsam, açabilirsin şu anda. Aç aç. O şuradaki düğme var ya tam şey. Okay.
I figure. I figure if I start talking, maybe you'll come back. Or maybe it'll drive you away. I really don't know for sure. Anyway, I love the name of this group, Yakimos, which means reflection of moonlight on the water, and there's lots of that in Utopia. I would like to take this opportunity to thank Iqbal Koseli of the Turkish American Society, who has been an invaluable ally over the past years. She has introduced me to musicians and artists and has been such a foundational supporter of the concert and exhibit. And my heart goes out to our Turkish friends who have suffered such losses due to the devastating earthquakes in Turkey and Syria. So I am going to attempt to announce these pieces that they're playing, and please forgive my Turkish pronunciations. Aşk için Gelmişiz by Mustafa Ceceli, Akşam Güneşi by Orhan Gencebay, and Delalim by Ibrahim Tatlıses. And then they will also do a little medley after that. Thank you.
We start right on. Ses. Aşk için gelmişiz biz bu cihana, dostu sevmektir bizim işimiz.
Aşk için gelmişiz biz bu cihana, dostu sevmektir bizim işimiz.
Allah der her bir zerremiz, ayar görenden bize ne, ayar görenden bize ne.
Yer gök seslenir her dem Allah, benlikten geçenin yerdir Allah.
Yaşlı bulan neyler ki bu dünyayı, her dem seslenir o Allah 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 Allah
için gelmişiz biz bu cihana. Dostu sevmektir bizim işimiz.
Aşk için gelmişiz biz bu cihana. Dostu sevmektir bizim işimiz.
Allah der her bir zerremiz. Ayar görenden bize ne? Ayar görenden bize ne?
Yer gök seslenir her dem Allah. Benlikten geçenin yaridir Allah.
Aşkı bulan neyler ki bu dünyayı, her dem seslenir o Allah, 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 batarken ufukta bir akşam güneşi bırakıp gitmiştin. Sen beni sevgilim, yıllar yılı oldu hala dönmedin geri. Ne olur, ne olur, ne olur dön bana. Bak batıyor yine akşam güneşi, akşam güneşi. Aşkımı dillerde, gözümü yollarda, kimsesiz bıraktın. Şu gurbet ellerde sanki kara bulut seni saklıyor benden. Ne olur, ne olur, ne olur dön bana. Bak yine döndüm akşam güneşi. Siverek'in yoluna, hey Siverek'in yoluna, toydum düştüm toruna, hey toydum düştüm toruna. Bu sevdalar boşuna, hey bu sevdalar boşuna. Belalım, 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 belalım. Siverek'in yoluna, hey Diyarbakır yoluna, toydum düştüm toruna, hey toydum düştüm toruna. Bu sevdalar boşuna, hey bu sevdalar boşuna. Belalım, 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 belalım. Mardin kapısından hoplayamadım, Mardin kapısından hoplayamadım. Biralarım döküldü, toplayamadım. Biralarım döküldü, toplayamadım. Ben onu yazıp yazdım, yollayamadım. Ben yâre mektup yazdım, yollayamadım. Durmayın arkadaşlar, ben yaralıyım. El alem al dizmiş, ben yaralıyım. Hey hey hey. Pınarbaşı vurma vurma yar 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 aman. Yaz gelince öter turnam, leylim 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 aman. Yaz gelince öter turnam, leylim 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 aman. Çayırda buldum seni, ellere vermem seni. Kendime alsam seni, sineme sarsam seni. Çayırda buldum seni, ellere vermem seni. Kendime alsam seni, sineme sarsam seni. Thank you.
The next song, Rainbow Connection, just had to be in this concert. And I asked the string quartet for program ideas, and my fellow violinist Carol mentioned this one. And then Ray, our violist, sent me a link to a blog by David Hoffman of Baruch College in New York. And the blog is called Shadows of Light, Exploring the Tradition of Utopian and Dystopian Thought. Anyway, Rainbow Connection was Hoffman's top pick for utopian songs, and here is part of his explanation. Rainbow Connection offers no blueprint for a better world, no program of reform, only the hope that there is something better to be had somehow. But isn't the vague, never specified better world at the other end of the rainbow a true vision of the good place/no place signified by the term utopia?
Why are there so many songs about rainbows? And what's on the other side? Rainbows are visions, but only illusions. ones, and rainbows have nothing to hide. So we've been told, and some choose to believe it. I know they're wrong, wait and see. Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. Who said that every wish would be heard and answered when wished on the morning star? Somebody thought of that, and someone believed it. Look what it's done so far. What's so amazing that keeps us stargazing? And what do we think we might see? Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. All of us under its spell. We know that it's probably magic. Have you been half asleep, and have you heard voices? I've heard them calling my name. Is this the sweet sound that calls young sailors? The voice might be one and the same. I've heard it too many times to ignore it. It's something that I'm supposed to be. Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. Da 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 dee da da dum, da 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 dee da da do.
This is one of the songs our cellist Matthew suggested, and I jumped on it because I have a real soft spot for this one. The video depicts a sort of a drunken fantasy complete with a furry monster character, but it's just such a catchy tune. But what I learned in preparation for this concert is that Best Day of My Life was conceived in reaction to the Sandy Hook school shooting. And the band, American Authors, was recording in a studio very close to Newtown, Connecticut. And they were just shocked by the proximity and the profound tragedy of it. And their response was to try to write something, as their bassist explained, so simplistic that it can be an earworm that can carry people. Star Trek came up a lot when I mentioned the idea of utopia to people, and unless they are certain rare people who have never watched a new Star Trek. That was Guillermo, too. Yeah, he said he'd never seen any Star Trek. So, the premise is that all of the major issues on Earth have been solved. The Earth is part of a benevolent federation of planets, and the Starship Enterprise is on a voyage to explore strange new worlds, to seek out new life and new civilizations, to boldly go where no man has gone before, or no one, as they updated the phrase in the 90s. The thing that always surprised me about that show was the amount of high-tech gun battling that took place. And I guess that's the job of a peacekeeping force, a term which has always struck me as a real oxymoron. Whatever you may think of Star Trek, there is no doubt that the original series has one of the best TV themes of all times, and talk about earworms. And I must admit, there might be endless reruns of Star Trek: The Next Generation in Utopia. I'd like to, actually, I'm going to do something else first before I invite Jade up. I'd like to introduce the musicians that are on stage with me. Carol Calvangian on violin. Ray Ostwald on viola. Matthew Agnew on cello. Kent Wayman on piano and keyboards. Ken Habik on bass and also composing. Kevin Kaiser on saxophones. Neil Wayman on drums. And I'd also like to thank Gary Wendt, who's over there. Guillermo Munoz Custer. The members of the chancel choir who sang earlier. Elliot Dvorin. Group Yakimos. Jade Mays. And last but not least, but our sound guys are so important, and they are Barry Nelson and Kevin Kalal. I have some other thanks to run down really quickly here. I want to thank Robin Woodsum, who helped so much with the art exhibit, and all the artists who have works out there. Gary Wendt, who is the person who really spearheaded the Simple Gifts concert series. We have an ongoing concert series here at the church. Tanya McCarthy, who really stepped up, designed a beautiful poster and program, and helped out so much in other ways. And also Susan Woodsum, who just organizes everything around here and also helped so much with the art exhibit. Laura Heiser and Betsy Martin, who both did some publicity. The Hands of Peace staff, Debbie Fosdick, Emily Kenward, Diana Cutlow, Deb Lawrence, and Lisa Notter, and Jill Mergel and her team, who will be serving refreshments later. Linda Padian, who has been taking photos. And I also need to thank my daughter, Isabel Trier, who helped me to coalesce my ideas about Utopia, and my son, Owen Trier, who is just so patient and listens to all of my nutty ideas all the time.
And a big thank you to Catherine Hughes for organizing all of this.
So after our next piece, and also I'm going to invite up our new minister here, but enjoy the art exhibit. There will be refreshments out there, and also please leave a free will donation or purchase some artwork to benefit Hands of Peace. And I would like to invite up the Reverend James Matarazzo, our new senior minister at Glenview Community Church, and I have him to thank for the Dr. King and Maya Angelou readings that are in the program.
Thanks so much. I was asked to do an interfaith prayer, and I actually found one. So that's good. If I can find it again. Okay. Thank you for being here at Glenview Community Church to support Hands of Peace, which began here 20 years ago? How many, 20? Or more? I think it's 20 years ago. Right after 9/11. Which brings over youth from the West Bank and Gaza, the State of Israel, in the Holy Land, and people from this community and in San Diego to get together for mutual understanding. So we're very happy to be associated with it, and we're happy that you're all here. Thank you to all the musicians. It was wonderful to hear you all. It was I really enjoyed the Star Trek. I'm a Trekkie, so yeah. So I watched that stuff. So I'll leave you with this blessing. Go out into the world in peace, have courage, hold on to what is good, Return no one evil for evil. Support the weak. Help the suffering. Honor all people. Love and serve one another, rejoicing in the power of the human spirit. Amen.
The Beatles released the song Revolution as a UK single B-side in 1968. The band was viewed as leading the counterculture, but they had rarely expressed any overtly political views. Because of pressure from Leninist, Trotskyist, and Maoist groups, John Lennon started to feel that they needed to speak out, so they released Revolution with its decidedly pacifist stance. Lennon started writing it on a retreat in India, and the phrase at the end of the song, "It's gonna be all right," came directly from his transcendental meditation practice there. It can be very powerful to say, "It's gonna be all right." And sometimes that's enough of a utopian vision to keep us going.
About destruction, don't you know that you can count me out? Don't you know it's gonna be alright? Alright, alright, yeah. You say you got a real solution. To see the plan. You asked me for a contribution. Well, you know, we're all doing what we can. But if you want money for people with minds that hate, all I can tell you is, brother, you have to wait. Don't you know it's gonna be alright? Don't you know it's gonna be alright? Don't you know it's gonna be alright? Yeah. Change the Constitution. Well, you know, we all want to change your head. You tell me it's the institution. Well, you know, you better free your mind instead, yeah. If you keep repeating the cycle of hate and war, you're gonna make it with anyone anymore. No, don't you know it's gonna be alright? It's gonna be alright. Don't you know it's gonna be alright? Yeah. Are you gonna join me now? Alright, 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 alright. Alright, hey!
Okay, go on out.